viewers. If not, that's cool. You guys can catch up on the video on YouTube. So I'm going to address the audio. In the last episode I did, the audio was extremely poor, and I'm very, very sorry. I hopefully fixed it with this one. I really don't have the best equipment. I'm just kind of using a headset. So, I'm not really, set up for this type of thing, for streaming and all that. I'm also very new at this. So bear with me. If there are problems and you are watching this live, let me know and I'll try and fix it. If not, then I will try and fix it in post, or I'll just re-record it. Sorry guys again, but hopefully you enjoy it. So one of my things I did was I just turned down the audio quite a bit in the game, so you're not really listening to the game. You're more listening to me talk. To try and hopefully let you guys enjoy it as I reveal some more secrets about this game. Yeah, so anyways, here we go. We're back at it. I'm picking up in, I believe it's this like restaurant thing. I forgot what it was. But yeah, this is where we're picking up from where we finished last time. And let's see, any little interesting things to talk about here? Not really. Oh, the blue ribbon. Not really. Nothing really crazy to talk about this. This scene that's about to happen, pretty much the whole like running around through the streets, through these alleyways and everything, that was in the original design of the game. Nothing really changed there. Don't think you missed out on anything. That all stayed the same. This bar scene, if you saw the original trailer, then you will maybe potentially recognize it, maybe potentially not. They brought this bar in here because this was supposed to be that bar where you walked in initially and you stole the shotgun and you started blasting on people. That was what this was supposed to be. Yeah, they scrapped that. They got rid of that, if you didn't realize that. I mean, well, I guess you did. The game's been out for a while. But yeah, they got rid of it and they replaced it with this rendition of a bar. Nothing really too crazy to talk about in here. It's just kind of another area. Coffee. Oh. The shield.
What was that?
That was something that changed at the very last minute. It was blue. Yet again, if you remember the initial trailer, how you had like the blue health bar, that was blue there. They kind of got rid of that and they made it yellow at the last minute. That, I don't know why they did it. Minor change, something that doesn't really affect anybody, as you can tell. So, I don't know why I'm collecting all this stuff. The difficulty's easy, so it's not like I'm gonna die anytime soon. It's just a habit, I guess, to search when you're playing these games.
On the streets, and worse is the insult, because today is the day that marks our secession from the Sodom below.
Whoa! Damn hook must be magnetized.
So, that line of dialogue is actually pretty funny. They added that line of hook, damn hook must be magnetized, after focus testers complained that they, like, how was Booker doing it? Like, they're like, it doesn't make sense that he can jump this far, like how can you do that? So, that was another thing where they added the line in to give clarification to what was going on. Kind of stupid. I completely missed that one. The repeater didn't change. Same gun it has been. They pretty much had this idea for this gun and they stuck with it. Nothing crazy about the repeater. For the most part, almost all the weapons in this game never changed. Once they had the idea for the weapon and it was kind of finalized for the most part, they really rolled with it. They didn't change anything. They didn't change anything. It just kind of weapons stay. What are my bottom line? Weapons stay the same. Yeah, sorry if I'm rambling, guys. I'm still new, and for some reason I feel nervous. I'm not talking really. The people. So the enemies kind of changed design. Not by much, and you know, it was something that happened a long time ago, or not a long time ago, but happened kind of midway through development. They changed the design of the enemies to give the military police look because of they didn't want you killing civilians. That was another thing that came up in some emails for a bit, was that you were killing regular people, and, you know, men, women, and it wasn't that it was a bad, you know, necessarily bad thing. They were shooting you, blah, 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 that type of thing. But they changed into military like people just to give you a little more reason. If I remember right, there was here, but I don't know if I have the code yet.
It's all right. I like the day we met.
Like, you can see it right here. How this dude's not doing anything. He just wants me to leave. I mean, I could kill him if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. That he's pretty much an example. Like, people like him were supposed to be the ones who attacked you, but they scrapped it. They wanted you to fight kind of soldiers. Have a little more purpose. Bioshock doll they were selling, a plush. I think it's in here somewhere, if I'm not mistaken.
Die.
No, guess not.
Die, sinner.
Up here. Oh well, screw it. Who's telling me I had this kind of? Yeah, the skyhook. I mean, that was something that was always in the design. Never changed. They just limited the rails, so the hook itself that you land on, that was kind of the new thing they did. You don't land on. They limited just the sky rails in favor of the hook because there just wasn't space. Consoles couldn't handle it. So blame PS3 and Xbox for getting dumbed down versions. You know, hey, PC Master Race, right, guys?
These poor Negroes to do. How they treat them. It was bound to happen.
Violence is not a foregone conclusion. Tim, the one they're after. Go. They're looking for you.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys.
They're here!
Shh. Keep your voice down.
Sorry about that.
All right, let's move on.
The blacks and the whites, that was always a thing in the game. They wanted racism in here yet again. 1910. They wanted you to feel that tension. They wanted you to kind of have that anger towards the people of Colombia because they were because of how they were treating them. That's always been something that they had. I'm just collecting more stuff.
What's that? Inside! Inside!
Change over your Oh, I guess they did update it for possession. Well, before when it was mesmerized still, it showed like a little ghost kind of like flying around you, which is pretty cool because it made it look like it was mesmerizing them. But they scrapped that very clearly. They got rid of it. The ghost still does the same animation, which is cool, I guess. Nothing really to chat about here. I mean, the big thing about this game during development was they didn't have much of the game. Like, they didn't even have a story. The story really came together at the end. You know, that trailer they showed you for like the initial reveal, that was literally as far as the game was. They had nothing. Oh, the cat? That is in reference to another guy as well that they scrapped. He was supposed to be something you fight. I think you pick up his, you pick up voxophones with him that talk about him, but same thing. He was supposed to be a bad guy that you dealt with. They got rid of him, clearly, but they liked his hat, so they kept the hat. It's a kind of a common trend. A lot of stuff that looks kind of cool or has a little more design to it is like that because they scrapped that character. Oh, see it right there. Yeah, you fought Preston. He was a boss at one point in the game. They replaced him with... I don't think it was anything crazy. I think they just replaced him with like a regular bad guy. Yeah. Let's see. I always forget there's a sprint. Oh, the murder of crows. This area actually changed quite a bit. So, how you're going into this building here, it wasn't like this. So, originally, in the first video, I talked about how the whole religion and Comstock and everything, how that it's very awkwardly placed if you start to analyze the game. You know, in that instance of, like, it's just weird how he comes to power and how everything about this is just kind of awkward if you think about it. Well, it is, because these are leftover remnants of the previous story where Comstock created this city to attack our enemies, meaning other countries. That was his point. That was what he was going to use it, because like I said, Columbia was a weapon initially. It wasn't this what it is. So it started off as a weapon, and yeah, he kind of just turned it a little bit. But yeah. So, and then this thing. And then, initially, the original thing, the original, like, Black Murder Crows, like, building here, this thing that I'm looking at, you snuck in the rooftop, you went along the rooftops, and then you got in that way. The original running away, too, now that I'm on it, the whole thing was pretty sweet. Like, that bridge, at least the bridge, you did fight on a bridge, so you like would run away from the fair, you would go through the city, you would get on that bridge, you'd take a skyline, and you'd land on some homes, and then you go through the homes on the inside, and then you'd eventually culminate in, you know, reaching this place here, and going through it, and that was where you got Murder of Crows. But very clearly, all changed. They changed to this. It's not the... I mean, I don't think it's the coolest. I think they took a scapegoat with it, you know, it's kind of cheapened out, but yet again, more memory and time. Their original design was huge. Like, this game was just absolutely massive. The John Wilkes Booth, he has such little to do. Like, you see, these were like the original enemies that you only fight pretty much here. Get out of the way. You're serving the bad guys. The murder of crows, I don't remember if they address it. They might, but, like, the coffin he has on his back is supposed to be the weight of Lady Comstock. I can't remember if they addressed that in the game through, a voxophone, shocker, but the backstory to the coffin we're about to see on his back is that he's bearing the weight of Lady Comstock since she was killed. This place makes no sense. When they added this building in, like when they updated it, the whole thing makes absolutely sense. It makes it look like they're a psychotic cult that worships just... It's just the weirdest thing when they added it, but yet again, they wanted more motivation for you to hate them, so... They praised Ronald Booth for killing Lincoln.
And so, the prophet led us into Peking, where we demonstrated to the solemn below the true mission our founders given. And when the man...
You walked in on a secret cult that stayed. Like I said, it just was in a different building is all. It looked pretty different. Not much. You still kind of walked into this kind of, like, church-like setting. That's all the same. And infusion. Let's go with... And I got an optional question. Try revisiting places.
They're here! Shooting!
Oh, damn. Try revisiting places. Is it talking about that chest? It's good. Not like there's so many people watching right now, but let's go check that chest out, I think. Let's talk about. Yeah, the interesting thing about it is a lot of the assets are kind of reused. Like, they had stuff done for the previous, like, way the game was, and then they scrapped it. Back in here. Yeah, the original game, when we first got it, was only the Boardwalk level and the Hall of Heroes. Like, all this other stuff was not present. Sorry if you guys can hear the beeping in the background. My phone is going off. But alright, back to the past. The optional quests, they always had, the optional quests were in there. That was something that they strived for, they wanted. Kind of to, not really make it an RPG, but they really wanted you to explore. Unfortunately, the optional quests that are in the game now really, really suck. Like, they are literally, oh, you found a key, go find out what it goes to, as you just saw there. That wasn't initially how it was. Initially, it was much, much different. It was a little more hectic, and they wanted you, like, actually to go way back into previous levels. You know, they wanted you to take the skyhook around the city. There was much more to it, but they scrapped it. And again, the biggest thing I guess I shouldn't say it was memory for the game. The biggest thing is time. Like, they ran out of time. As you saw, the game was supposed to be out in October, I believe 2012. Didn't hit it, got delayed, and then that was when, if you follow video games, you saw they brought on like 5 different studios. They got 2K China, 2K Australia. They got everybody and their moms to join in on this game because they needed the game done. And they just weren't, because they were not going to make those deadlines. Like, and they were struggling. Irrational really, I won't say dropped the ball, but they really needed to get their stuff together because they were so far behind. And the biggest thing too came from Ken Levine changing his mind a lot. You know, he's a visionary and he's very creative. I mean, the game is still great, but man, if we ever saw emails or heard about a guy like that crazy, he's very picky. He is very picky, and he always has his posse following. But I'm not here to talk about Ken Levine and talking about the game. So anyways, yeah. So here we are. They had this initial underground. So I remember I told you go through kind of the rooftops, and you get into this kind of secret society. But at this point, it's different. Instead, you walk into the secret society. Yep, that was much different. But you still kind of came down to this secret hideout. Gear. Oh man. So gear. Similar to what I was talking about in the previous episode regarding multiplayer, how you had head-to-toe with gear, you could customize yourself. They had that as well. Gear was actually a big part in the game where you could have a hat, you know, you could have arms, you could have chest, you could have legs. They had all of that in there, and it was all very similar to what's currently in the game for gear, as far as, I guess, what the benefits were, but, they changed it, so it was just kind of more a loadout, if you will, instead of an actual gear. That was present. They had that in the original game, or the original version. Oh, nothing to pick off, yeah. Yeah, I think they must tell you that about the Lady Comstock thing, because they got the statue here and everything. They added that because they had this cool design for this guy, as you're gonna see, like come on, how awesome is the Murder Pros looking, dude? It's like hooded, you know, KKK member with this awesome lady, this coffin on the back. Yeah, well, there was no story. There was no reason for the coffin. There was absolutely nothing behind it. They did it because they needed a purpose. It was one of the things they created it, and they're like, oh, this looks really cool, but we can't just scrap it. So what do? Screw it. Let's add a story behind it, which worked out. Initially for that, when you hold out your hand like you just saw, the bird, actually your hand starts to decay, similar to the devil one. And the bird will start picking at the holes in your skin and then rip out the piece, like that you just saw, that flesh that they were just holding, the crow was just holding. That is what the bird then takes out and kind of starts like, gnawing on. But they stopped, they scrapped all that, and they just pretty much instead made it, you just have the piece of meat in there. I'm really not very good at multitasking. I'm telling you guys, sorry, I keep getting distracted as I'm dying. Oh, this is the remnant of the gear vendor. So, like I told you, you would go to these things. So these are the guys you would go to. They're Jewish, as you can tell, tailors essentially. You would go here and you would change your outfit from head to chest to arms, you know, to legs to boots. Everything could be changed. That was the point of this gear vendor, and they worked too, but they scrapped it, as you can tell since he's sitting there. Well, they scrapped, like I told you, not necessarily the vendor, the the functionality of how gear previously worked. That's all gone, and it's just gonna be out.
9 inches.
Bet I can get to Monument Island from that station.
Oh my god, why am I getting so much lag here? Let's just got that. Alright guys, I'm lowering my graphics quality. I guess my computer can't handle it on ultra. I guess I don't have that great of a computer probably. Alright, nothing here, just another secret house. You get a lockpick here.
What color were his eyes?
No, green. I can't. Ah!
Hi, your husband is dead. Guess not. Do they still have the lockpicks in the game? No, they scrapped the lockpicks. That was another thing. Elizabeth had lockpicks, but I'll talk about that when she picks a lock in the next level. Monument Island. Comstock knew I was coming. Who told them? Them that sent me here? Oh, it was you. Because spoilers, you're Comstock. Vendors became worthless. Once they got rid of the gear, vendors became pretty worthless. I mean, it was kind of sad. You don't need the vendor for anything. Nothing really changed here. I mean, they did change the design and layout of how it looks, but not like... I mean, it was just more layout, not necessarily like story or anything wise here.
We're sorry to say that Monument Island is off limits. You've got to go. Workmen should proceed to the island by means of the skyline.
The skylines, huh? Those things them coppers came riding on
So,
back
these,
on the lot.
like, gondola things, these guys didn't exist. They weren't here. Instead, they were in here, kind of behind this thing, and that was how they warp in behind there. But minor change,
That
more or
line
less,
heads
I
to
guess, to be a
Monument
little more
Island.
interactive.
Shut. Whoa!
Shepherd here in Colombia, full of hate and avarice and guile. Like all his kind in the Sodom below, he's the lamb.
Feel
And
better
hastens
already.
to our tower, even now. His intent.
Oh, see, there you go. They still do have it in here. Man, I have not played this game in a while. This is how they were designed. They created that one back there literally for this purpose alone. And you never see those types of ones again.
What this guy did? Expect from an anarchist.
Boom, baby.
Don't be sorry.
These areas didn't change too much, mainly because I guess they weren't done. Originally when you got to Monument Island, after you passed through the Comstock or the Murder of Crows little thing, that was it. You pretty much got here right away, and you got there. So all of this is more fluff to give you, like most video games, just to give you reason to do something. So intimidating. I tell ya. Oh, they're shooting, another shooting.
With flaming sword and the wings of angels. Watch over me and
Yeah,
grant me strength.
the whole religion thing
Washington,
was just,
hear my prayer.
I don't know, it was a weird thing for them to add. I get why they did it. Yet again, it gave you motive to understand why they had belief in something, like why they followed this man to the clouds. You know, it's like anything. It's like why you start a cult. You get people to follow you, and all that stuff. So that was what this clearly was. It was pretty much a cult. But they changed it to Comstock. It wasn't supposed to be Comstock. Instead, these people were supposed to be not praying, but honoring the founding fathers.
I see every sin that blackens your soul. Wounded knee, the Pinkertons, the drink, the gambling, and of course, Anna. And now,
Anna meaning
to repay a debt, you've come from my land. But not all debts can be repaid, Booker.
You don't know me, pal.
Prophecy is my business, Mr. DeWitt. As blood as yours. Do you know why these men will die for me? Because I have seen their future in the glory. And hence they are content. What brought you to Columbia, Booker? Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt?
This will end in blood, Quid. Then again, it always does with you, doesn't it? It always ends in blood.
Jesus.
You've come to lead my lamb astray, but thy crook is bent and thy path is
I
twisted.
don't think really anything
Go back
changed
to the
here.
Sodom from
Same
which
thing.
you
Comstock
came.
addresses you, tells you you're it's not gonna happen. Good luck, bud. But you're like, nope, F that. It's gonna
Come
happen.
back.
This building being destroyed.
Holy
This
shit.
was originally Songbird doing this. They reduced Songbbird's role quite a bit. You encountered Songbird very much like the Big Daddy, very frequently in the game, and it was pretty cool how they did it. But you actually fought Songbird. You fought him. It was yet again similar to how Big Daddies worked in that instance. You would fight him as he flew around. You would get on the skylines. You would go from skyhooks, and yeah, you just pretty much battled Songbird. But then he would run away, and you'd fight him again because you would scare him off essentially, or you'd wound him enough. But they got rid of it. Oh, where is that? Get in there. Weird. This was initially a child.
It's okay.
When they did add this little scene, this like little praying in here. This was a kid at first. They made it an adult woman because same thing. They thought it would be too controversial if they had a kid, so they pulled the kid and out of the way.
Okay. I'm sure I can get this thing going.
The Lord forgives everything.
This scene
I'm just a
was
prophet,
used at a different time in the game.
so I don't have to. Amen.
And it was originally the I like how it just vanishes. It was initially the Vox Populi.
It's close.
Yeah, they did scrap the gear vendor. Yeah, that gear vendor I showed you guys, the Jewish-looking gear vendor. Yeah, they scrapped him entirely in favor of just these two, the dollar bill and the Vinny Vitty Vigor. That's right. I remember. That's right. Because yeah, the gear vigor or the gear guy, you needed him to swap your gear, but they don't do that anymore. So, well, on to Monument Island, everybody, where we get to meet Elizabeth. Find the girl.
Monument Island.
This level.
Wonder why they got her locked up in this place.
This level. It's a tough one to remember exactly what happened. Oh, that's right. You initially had your lockpick. Not your lockpick. Your hacking tool. That's right. You used to hack. Remember in Bioshock 1 and 2, you had a hacking tool, right? This game also had a hacking tool. The hacking tool was originally in your box that you'd open at the beginning of the game, and it was shaped like a watch. So you would click the watch open, and it would be almost exactly the same as the one from Bioshock, where it'd be a circle with a needle spinning on it, and you had to get it in the green or the blue, and then it had red. If you got the red, it kicked you out. If you had the green, it was like very good. If you had the blue, it was like, hey, +1, you still have like 3 more locks to lock or hack. That was what they initially had. And then the difference was it was different for this game. They allowed you to move, so I could move while hacking. So combat, everything would still be going on in real time, whereas in the other Bioshock games, time paused. Well, it didn't work very well, because if you found yourself hacking the turrets, a door, or any of that stuff, you were still getting shot at, and it made the game very difficult and very kind of frustrating, I guess you could say. I didn't mind it, but some people did, I guess, so they got rid of it. And they replaced you, instead of going through the door, they replaced it with these skyhooks to get over, which is really stupid in theory, because that they have them there. Like, why? People have skyhooks, you can just sneak into places, but whatever. Angel left over from the forefathers, but they made her more religious. They fill all this in the narrative, just to be narrative. There was nothing here before. Originally, you just kind of walked in and you saw Elizabeth.
What's this?
Nothing is what it is.
Oh, please do.
What that is.
Huh.
I think. Ah, yes, here we go. I always forget this room.
What the hell are they doing to her?
Almost as if the chair looks familiar, am I right? This photo was adjusted. Originally, this photo showed her butt. So you see how it's kind of like short a little bit compared to these ones? It's because it is. The photo went probably a good another inch down, and it revealed her butt. But yet again, they didn't like that because they didn't see a purpose for it, so they got rid of it. All this experimentation, this was added in a way for story elements, in a way not for story elements. Elizabeth had no explanation. There was no logistical, I guess you could say, no logical way to explain why she was what she was. They couldn't do it. There was none. For the longest time, they didn't have any. And she just had powers, and they didn't know. So they drummed up all this random crap. I mean, it also involves like Comstock and him being able to do his, like, you know, go through time as it reveals later in the game. But so that was all. That was how initially it was. Nothing there because, yeah, they didn't see a need for it. But going upstairs now. Ah, there we go. The remnants of the lockpick system. So, the bag and that, actually, I don't think there's remnants. I think the lock picking is still in the game, is it not? Huh. Oh, we'll find out. But they added this stuff pretty much just because they mentioned lockpicking and they mentioned ciphers later in the game. So how does she know it? Oh, it's because of this. They scrapped it too. And originally, when you first got here, you saw her in this room, and then you saw her in here, and you just saw her all over. But yet again, it didn't make any sense to why she was in the room she was in, doing anything, because she just went from one room for your pleasure, and it's like, this is confusing. Let's just put her in one. There she is.
That's her.
The thumb too. The whole thumb missing thing. She didn't have that originally. they did that because that just adds to the story. Like I said, there was no plot to Elizabeth. No one really they couldn't explain anything about her, why she was doing what she was doing, so they got rid of it. See how cheesy these rooms look? Yeah, no reason. This was the original scene for the Star Wars thing that they had in the reveal trailer. They instead switched it. Oh, yeah, see this there. See? There it is, Star Wars. But it was in English.
Whatever that was. It's got nothing to do with the job at hand. This job's getting worse all the time.
Nothing's really changed here. This was all present. You went up. You went in. You snuck in. That was all here.
Holy shit.
Nothing really changed from the initial design.
Hey! Knock it off! Stop it! Will you stop it?
Not here to hurt you.
Who are you?
My name is DeWitt. I'm a friend. I come to get you out of
Get
here.
away! Are you real?
I'm real enough.
He's coming. You've gotta go.
Why?
You don't want to be here when he gets here. Just a minute, I'm getting dressed.
Get you out of here.
There's no way
That's
out.
another
See,
thing. If you
Stop
pay
it.
attention to
You're
how
too
she
impatient.
addresses
That's enough.
Songbird and
What about it?
This is the way out,
how that
isn't it?
whole relationship works,
Give it to me.
if you thought that was weird, that's because it is. It was different. They added this as a means to call him before Songbird just guarded her. I guess that was all added
Way out.
to flesh out the story. I guess not really flesh out the story, but just give explanation. Oh, come on, game, let's go. Just another thing that was another loophole or another random thing that they needed an explanation beyond, because
It's his job to keep me locked up in here.
a lot of
see about that.
empty explanation.
Who are you? Why did you come here? This way, come on!
We had a tester that wrote up a bug saying that was a legal issue because it looked like a monster logo.
The hell is that? Call the elevator!
The hell is that? Call the elevator. Going real
Press
quick.
the button!
What is all this? They were watching me? All this time?
This also, if I remember right, was her
Why
head.
did they put me in here?
Which
What
made
am
reference
I?
to her photo of her butt that I talked about earlier. That
You're
was
the girl
like where her
who's
tub
getting
was
out
in
of
here
this
to kind
tower.
of show you where they got the photo. Same thing. Kind of fought Songbird here at one point. You shot at him, kind of pushed him away. Got rid of it. Clearly, since now it's just
This way!
more scripting. Now it happens automatically. Can't do anything about it.
We have to keep moving. He's tearing the building.
Careful, Elizabeth!
And she beat me. This game, it's so crazy to play this game after 4+ years. I have Stockholm syndrome on this game, just like Elizabeth does with the bird. That's another thing actually that they really downplayed was it was the Stockholm syndrome. Elizabeth was supposed to have such mad Stockholm syndrome for Songbird. Like she was supposed to hate it. I can't leave him, but I have to get away. They kind of scrapped a lot of that, and now she instead is just simply, oh, hey, I don't like, I clearly do not like him. That wasn't the case, but they made it. It's coming down. Ooh, mysterious. Very mysterious.
Mr. DeWitt! Mr. DeWitt!
More backstory to DeWitt. More backstory showing us that he was a drunk, which they talk about, but they just wanted to show you.
What are you? Anna? Anna?
More story elements. Alright, guys. I think that's it. For me for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Yet again, if you have complaints or anything, please let me know if you actually even were able to finish this video. Because now we're starting the boardwalk. The boardwalk is a very near and dear heart to me. Because
No, it's me.
This is the level where this was the very first level they had done. And for the longest time was the only level they had done.
Here, let me.
I'll be fine.
You almost drowned.
So,
You need to.
with that said, guys,
Fine. Just
I'm gonna call it there. I'm trying to. I got, these are hour-long videos. If you guys even make it that far into it, I mean, I doubt it. But if you do, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Okay,
This
I won't be long. I
YouTubing
won't be
and
long,
this stuff
Mr.
is really hard because people, I guess, prefer watching random other things, and which is fine. But now I'm ranting about YouTube. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Comments, anything, let me know. Like I said, we're going to start up this level next, and this is a big one. This is going to be a very exciting level because I have a lot to talk about. Alright guys, till next time, I'm out.